How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be comparing the Pixel 6a versus the iPhone 13 Pro. I know this is not a super fair comparison because it's technically a budget phone versus a flagship phone, but from my experience of testing out Pixel A series phones, the photos perform nearly as good as flagship phones. Alright, let's do a quick microphone test. Testing 1 2 1 2. This is what it sounds like on the Pixel 6a. Testing 1 2 1 2. This is what it sounds like on the iPhone 13 Pro. And now we have the speech enhancement on the Pixel A, and this is how it sounds like. So right now I'm heading into the city to see if I can replace my AirPods Pro, and after that I'm gonna go find some lunch and definitely something cold to drink because today is like 100 degrees. The first note I want to say is that the Pixel does have a very aggressive white balancing, so in the shot the whites actually look white, and for the people they look more natural. On iPhone it does have this slight greenish hue on everything. And I got my AirPods Pro replaced just because I got mine when it first came out back in 2019 and it failed on every test they had. So far, I would say the Pixel 6a is probably one of the best budget phones you can get here in the States. In my opinion, it's kind of hard to call it a budget phone because it feels like a premium or a flagship phone. Even though the back is plastic, I've used budget phones with worse quality, but they use the same processor as the one in the 6 Pro, so technically in performance, they should perform about the same. Of course, they would have to cut some corners since there's no wireless charging. The glass screen is Gorilla Glass 3, so it's not as good as the flagship, and the lower refresh rate. But I feel like for the day-to-day use of this phone, especially for regular consumers, they probably don't really notice those things or won't even care. So they're willing to pay a little bit less price for a good phone. The Pixel 6a doesn't have a telephoto lens, but the software does do a good job sharpening them. So let's see how well that competes against an actual dedicated telephoto lens on the iPhone. Okay, so obviously the iPhone will win, but not until you zoom in all the way. Now, even at 3x/2x, it looks really good and it's hard to tell the difference, especially if you're looking at the phone screen. But even at 7x though, it still looks pretty good and you can still tell what is what in the picture. Now, if you zoom in a lot and you really need that telephoto lens, then you just have to go into the flagship Pro model. Now, using the Instagram camera app, the iPhone will still always win, but for the Pixel 6a, it's actually one of the better ones I've used. The Instagram clip I used at the very end of this video shows a lot more of the pixelation, but I've seen it happen a lot more often on the Samsung than the Pixel. When you're taking pictures, it looks very close to the iPhone. It's hard to tell which one is which. So the Instagram experience on the Pixel 6a I think is one of the best ones I've used on an Android phone. And so far, I think it will beat the flagship Samsung phone using the Instagram app. But that's not until I test out the two cameras, so make sure to come back to watch that. One thing to notice, as you can obviously see, the images on the Pixel is a bit more zoomed in. You can already tell that even with the ultra wide angle lenses. Moving on to portrait mode, the 1x on iPhone and Pixel 6a are totally different, and you do have a zoomed in option on the Pixel 6a and the 3x option on the iPhone, which uses the telephoto lens, so that looks much more clearer, so I prefer using 3x, and I would stay away from the 2x option on the Pixels. Any Pixels, not just the Pixel 6a. Now for the 1x on the Pixel, I do like the look of that better just because it does give that more natural portrait look, especially the compressed background, and the 1x is a great distance to take pictures of, whereas the 3x on iPhone can be a little bit too tight indoors. I saw an ad on Instagram showing a low calorie and high protein bread, and apparently they sell it at a grocery store near here, so I'm gonna go over there, check it out if they even have it, and then after I'm gonna go find some dinner before heading back. Using the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro for a while, I would probably already know the weaknesses of the 6a, which is obviously video, but it's where the shadows are. Even in daytime, it's still pretty noisy in the shadows or darker areas. Now in terms of the hardware, I do like the feel of it, I do like the size, just because it's smaller, and out of all the Pixel A series, the 4a was my favorite because of the size. So if you do have small hands like I do, then definitely this phone will feel very comfortable using it. Now in terms of just the general use of the phone, it is a Pixel, so it's very easy to use. If you're the type of person that just wants something to work and something easy to use, then I would recommend the Pixel. there are some people that want more settings and a lot more options. I would push them towards Samsung. But I always say that the Pixel is the iPhone of Androids. And now with the 6A out looking like the flagship phones and it performs like it, I'm thinking that I don't know where the regular 6 or even the regular 7 in the future will be. Because in one hand, the A series pretty much offers what everybody really needs in a phone, and then there's the Pro version or the flagship version where you have all the flagship like features. At that point, if you are planning to buy the flagship Pixel, then you might as well spend some more money to get the Pro version. Unless the regular flagship Pixel offers something that you really specifically need. At the end of the day, if you are on a budget and you want a good consistent looking camera that gets better over time, then I would always recommend the Pixel A series. But if you're into video, then I would always recommend the iPhone. So those are my thoughts. I will be doing some more camera comparisons with the Pixel 6A, so make sure to come back and watch those. Let me know your thoughts on what you think of the Pixel 6A so far. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.